Hi, I'm Adam, and this is Vivek, and we are partners at Empiricon Energy Solutions here in New Jersey. We made a previous video about the residential PSE&G solar loan, but today, or right now, we're going to talk about the business PSE&G solar loan. So I'm going to ask Vivek the first question, and that is, what makes the business loan so special?
PSE&G solar loan for business is by itself, in and of itself, not any more special than it is for residential. What makes it very interesting is that we can couple it with more incentives that are available to businesses and not to homeowners. And that helps probably knock 90% of the cost of a solar loan, of a solar system, which is of tremendous interest. Because as you know, most of the deals that are out there for businesses that are interested in solar tap their OPEX and not into CAPEX. Hardly anybody talks to a business about outright owning a solar PV system and getting all of the benefits of a solar PV system. They talk about renting their roof, they talk about a lease, they talk about a power purchase agreement, which can have a great rate of return, but may or may not have as much in terms of savings for the business.
So is it really better to buy than to lease a solar system for a business?
Absolutely. Honestly, that's my philosophy is, if I own a piece of asset for my business, it's something that improves my business and lowers the cost of whatever service that asset provides to my business. So I typically like to operate in that mode. Some things are best outsourced, but in this case, solar is so reliable. I think it's an asset worth owning within a business.
If you have money to invest in your business, would it be better to invest in the solar, or would it be better to invest in your operations or something else having to do with your business?
I think installing solar is a part of your operations because you're going to use electricity for something in your business. Air conditioning, possibly if you have heat pumps, heating, refrigeration. We don't know what your business is, but you're using electricity to do something within your business. So having a cheaper mode of generating that business is certainly improving your business. And we're talking of returns in excess of 30%. It's hard typically for a business to have that high of a hurdle rate, to have that type of return from within their own organization. And now we're talking about reducing the cost of producing $1 of goods, not just extra revenue of $1, which is subject to tax. So
okay.
I hope you can appreciate that.
Right, I can. And we know that there's a federal tax credit, and we know that the solar loan has proceeds, but how do we get to this 90%? I mean, how do you get there? There's an extra incentive you're talking about. What is that?
Depending on your tax bracket, you're also allowed to depreciate at an accelerated basis. As recently as a couple of years ago, you could depreciate most of the solar system within a year or two. It takes a little longer now. It takes you about 4 years to do it. But when you add that depreciation on for a business that has a federal tax appetite, I think you're looking at a pretty significant markdown from the sticker price. So is it for everybody? I don't think this program is for everybody, but if you could come up with the money, we could put you in the black, typically in the second year, maybe the third year tops. And that's something pretty compelling, I would imagine.
Hey Vivek, let's go over to the whiteboard and look at an example.
Absolutely. Let's look at numbers. They always help.
All right, we're over here at the whiteboard. Let's take a look at a pie chart. Our pie chart shows us that the federal tax credit, 30%, solar loan proceeds, 45%, depreciation, 15%, and a net cost of 10%. Now again, this is the solar loan, so don't worry that that's a loan because it's satisfied completely with the sale of the SRECs. You don't have to add any of your own money. So let's get some more detail right over here. We see a system cost of $100,000. Federal tax credit comes back $30,000. Solar loan proceeds of $45,000. Depreciation of $15,000. You've got a net out-of-pocket of $10,000, which is a whopping 90% off of the system cost. You now have a solar system worth $100,000 for only $10,000. So let's dive into some more details over here. We got a real-life example. Let's go.
So here we are. We're taking a look at a real-life project. This was a skating rink where we're talking about 400 panels, 250 watts each, at a system cost of $2.85 a watt for a net cost of $285,000. we're seeing that the solar loan process imposes some additional costs, bringing up the total cost of the project to about $302,000. And let's see how we're going to pay that $302,000 back. The federal tax credit returns almost $91,000 back to us, and the solar loan itself provides us with $128,000. The depreciation helps us pay off another $43,000 to $44,000 roughly, for a net system cost of about $39,000, less than $40,000. We're talking about a little over 10% here, net system cost. So this is what gives us that magic. It gives us that whopping rate of return in excess of 30%. Let's see how that happens in a little bit more detail. Let's go over to the revenue side of the equation. What are the revenues that we hope to generate from this project? Of course, we're going to see the value of the SRECs, which we're going to bid for and get a fixed price on. We're going to get the net metered electricity, the value of the electricity that we would have otherwise had to pay PSE&G for, and then all of the incentives from our tax credit and depreciation and so forth would come back to us within the first 4 to 5 years. This would bring us to a gross total revenue line here. This is a revenue line, which is being offset by expenses, the principal one being our loan payments. PSE&G imposes a loan payment of 11.18% on that solar loan. Remember, we bid a price that more than offsets that loan. You could very well say that I would leverage at 3% and I could do better. But realistically, you can't, because the market price for the SRECs is significantly lower than what we would go out and bid to PSE&G. Having bid that, the 11.18% interest is more than handily covered by the SREC revenue, as you'll see in the spreadsheet. We possibly would have an insurance cost. We might have to add these solar panels to the insurance on the property. We don't have any land holding costs. We might have some cost to clean the panels or monitor them once in a year, something like that. So we've set aside some monies for that, bringing up us with total expenses that are well under what our total revenues are. So our net total revenue, if you go down to this line, shows us that although we had a net cost or an outlay of about $174,000 in the beginning, we are seeing a revenue stream of over $30,000 every year upon year. Now you're seeing it's declining somewhat, and that has to do with a couple of factors. The cost of the electricity goes up on an average annualized 3% or so every year. By the same token, the output of the solar panels decrease by about 0.5% every year. So the net effect of both of those gives us a cash flow on the electricity. If we look at our total returns down here, and we look at it at a little detail, in this particular project, the site owner was in the money in the second year, right here. And then he continues to make money every year after that, and he's hedged the price of air conditioning and light and all of the equipment on site at that skating rink. So in summary, basically what we're talking about is a system where we've brought the system price down close to 90% of what it originally was. We're in the money by the second year, and we have years of trouble-free, clean electricity generation on site. You've hedged your cost, you've improved your business, increased the value of your site. We think this is a great deal. Call us if you're interested. Call us or visit us at impericon.com. Call us at 609-945-2591. Hit extension 1. Thank you.